Hey, what's going on, guys? So we are back for another video today, and really this video was prompted like right now. Literally, I'm in the process of doing water changes and cleaning tanks and such. Now, if we take a look at the 100-gallon, I got the hang on the back filter sitting in the front right now because it's about to get cleaned out, but I have all the decorations, all of the driftwood, the rocks, everything out of here. I've got the water changed and filled back up. What I have a problem with is this. If you notice down here, there's tons of poop on the bottom of the substrate. Now, I use a standard gravel vac, just a regular old gravel vac. Now the problem with this gravel vac is that you have to remove the water to do that. I did close to a 60% water change on this tank today, and I still have all of this debris down there. So what about this video today? So what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be building a do-it-yourself gravel vac, which will actually remove the debris from the water while keeping the water in the tank. So this was inspired by Joey Mullins from the King of DIY. He made a video about this years ago. We're gonna use the basis of that and make something a little more permanent than using just a water bottle and such, but we're gonna try this out and see how it works. So we'll compare that to the Fluval electric vacuum that does the exact same thing. However, it is almost $60. So let's see how these work against each other and how much we can build this for. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so we are at Lowe's. We're gonna go ahead and pick up the supplies to make this gravel vacuum. So we're gonna try to do this as cheap as possible. Let's go ahead and start with a 2-foot section of 1.5-inch PVC for $3.56. One other thing that we're gonna need is we're gonna need an adapter with a screw-on end. So the best possible solution for what I need this for would probably be this female adapter with a nut, which looks like this. Basically, this blue tab right here is actually just paper that'll come out. Everything will be good there, but I'll show you how this is gonna work. So that piece right there, $1.08, pipe is $3.56, so we're at what, $4.64? Let's go grab the other pieces. So we just finished up at Lowe's. We got the piece of PVC pipe, we got the fitting that we needed. We're gonna go ahead and head to PetSmart to pick up the Fluval gravel vacuum that we're gonna be comparing to this DIY one. Then we're gonna head to Walmart to pick up a couple of things there. All right, guys, so we finished up at Lowe's and went over to PetSmart to pick up the actual vacuum that we're going to be doing this comparison on. So let's go through all of the supplies that we're gonna be using to build our do-it-yourself version of this, and then let's look at the actual vacuum that I've purchased that we're going to actually be comparing it to. So let's take a look at that now. Okay, so starting with an aerator. This is a Tetra Whisper 40, which I wanted a little bit more of a powerful one, so that's why I went with the 40-gallon version instead of the 20-gallon or 10-gallon. So we spent $1.08 on this, which is a female adapter that has a screw on top. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with that here in just a moment. That was $1.08. I picked up this piece of 1.5-inch PVC pipe. So total all in all for this right here with tax was $5.08 for these two pieces here. I bought a little fine filter media bag for 99 cents and a package of air stones. The air stones total were $1.89. So total here is, actually the air pump was $8.92. So you're looking at like $11 total for all of this, plus the $5 here. So you're looking at $16 total for everything here. Now, one thing I do not have that is here that I'm using that I already had is a small piece of air tubing, which that stuff is so cheap. Like you can buy it at your local fish store for a couple of cents a foot. We're probably gonna use maybe 5 foot of it compared to this guy here. So what we have here is a Fluval ProVac, and this Fluval ProVac is actually for aquariums with a depth of 10+ inches. Now I cannot find anything in here that says that it's not submersible, and it does state here that it is fully waterproof. So therefore I should be able to easily clean my 10-gallon tank as well as a 100-gallon tank, as well as the indoor pond. I should be able to clean everything with this, just as I will be able with the do-it-yourself version. My real concern is, how is the suction on this compared to the suction on this? This here also has an LED light for dark areas, which I don't have a whole lot of dark areas. This plugs in, just like the aerator is going to plug in. So really, that is my concern, is what is the actual suction like on this compared to this? Also, this particular ProVac was $63 total price compared to the $16-ish of the do-it-yourself version. So we're gonna see how this goes. what we're gonna start with is the build of this and how we're gonna assemble this together. So let's get that going. First step to building this is actually cutting a piece of PVC about, I don't know, 8-10 inches long. It doesn't need to be much longer than that. So what we need to do with this piece of PVC is actually go ahead and attach the fittings to the end of this pipe. So like I said, I cut this down to about 8 inches. Just clean off the excess at the end. Nothing major. What's gonna happen is we're gonna put this piece of fitting over the top and then just literally hammer it down on. So that is done. Now we'll put this back on here so we do not lose the little screw, and I will show you what that screw is for in just a moment. Now on the other end of this, which is actually going to be the cleaning end, what we need to do is just right above the end of this pipe is drill a hole in the side of the pipe about the same diameter as your air hose. So as you can see here, this drill bit is about the same size as the air hose. What we're gonna do is go ahead and drill a small hole in the side of the pipe. About 1/2 inch to 1 inch above, right there. Just like so. Now, we have the hole into the side of the pipe. Now what we will do is take the piece of air hose that you will be using, place it through the hole, bring it out of the bottom of the pipe, like so, and then we are just simply going to attach an air stone to it. And then we will take the hose and the air stone and push it back up through, bringing it back out like so, and then basically you have an air stone inside of the pipe like this. Now the next step is take the other end, unscrew the nut, then simply place the media bag through this nut, and then you're just going to simply wrap it around it like this. Now what that does is that allows me to take this bag, screw it back on the end of this pipe like this. It makes a nice fit, and now what we have is we have a self-contained kind of trash bag, if you will. So the idea is that the air stone is going to cause bubbles. Suction will follow the bubbles up the top of the pipe, bringing all that junk up through here and into this filter bag. So, like I said, I want to give thanks to Joey Mullins from the King of DIY. He's the one that inspired this video and this kind of build. He has done this before. He used a little plastic water bottle, which makes sense, but I figured I would go ahead and do something a little more permanent, which would be actually using a piece of PVC as well as using this filter bag. So we're gonna see how this works. Now, if you notice, I have great amounts of poop still left over after my water change down here, and that is really my frustration. So I wanna see exactly how this works with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera up, and yeah, we're gonna watch this together and see if this will actually work to suck that stuff up. We have the aerator plugged in, which is just the aerator I showed you a moment ago. So we'll make sure that our aerator is actually working, which there are nice bubbles coming up out of it, which is what we're wanting to see. Now when we fully submerge this, we see that the bubbles are coming from the top, which is what we expect. And now, let's see how this works. Now if you notice in this bag, it is actually picking up quite a bit of this poop and this debris that's at the bottom, which is exactly what we wanted to have happen. Not picking up too much of the sand. It is taking a little bit of time. This $15 do-it-yourself vacuum is actually working quite well. I'm not gonna lie. So like I said, I think that this thing works fairly well. You can see we got quite a bit of the junk out of the bottom here. We're gonna work on the other side of the tank with the actual Fluval vac, so let's see how that goes. We're gonna take a look at actually unboxing the Fluval. Okay, so this thing actually comes in 2 pieces. This is your nozzle for cleaning. This is the actual machinery. And this thing actually sucks about as much as, oh, I'm just kidding. Oh. But it also has the ability to, you can take this little nozzle right here, place it on the inside of this, and it will actually drain your tank. The hose is sold separately. You can buy a hose for this thing at like Home Depot or what have you, but it doesn't have any function to actually fill your tank back up, but it's a cool little feature to have. Now, we're gonna place this on like so, which it doesn't, look at that, perfect. And then that just goes on like that. So let's take a look to see how this Fluval one actually functions. This is the moment of truth. That's awesome. Just whatever you do, don't knock my camera into. That's awesome. Yeah. Leave it to Brenton to fog up my lens. The Fluval has been plugged in actually, and now you're not supposed to turn this thing on before you stick it in the water. So we're gonna stick this in the water like so. Can you see it down there?
Yeah, they can see it.
Now let's give it a go. Wow.
There is another setting, the tire setting. I think there is.
Are you kidding me? Well, you've got to be kidding me. Wow. Okay. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to be the first to tell you that this thing doesn't pick up anything, really. I mean, this is on the high speed, and let me just sit this here. I mean, it definitely gets the sand, but the sand is not what we need. We need the poop. So we're gonna let that sit there, and we're gonna compare it side by side. So as you can see, the Fluval Aqua is having a difficult time picking up these pieces of poop and really latching onto them and getting them out of the substrate. I mean, you pick up some of the stuff and it's okay, but it's really not that impressive, to be honest with you. I mean, like this piece of poop over here, we'll just kind of get over here and see it. I mean, it kind of grabs it a little bit. I mean, as you see, it really has some trouble picking up these little pieces of poop. Like it really, I mean, some of the smaller pieces are easy, but you really have to sit over top of it for a while to get it. And even then, it doesn't really do a great job. Now, what I'd like to show you is in comparison, like here is the way this thing is working here, in comparison to the DIY one that is over here that has already sucked up a lot of the substrate that is going to fall out, as you see. But look at it. I mean, it actually is doing really, really well. Look at that thing. And look at the bag up here. Full of poop. I can literally just roll over the top of the sand and start knocking stuff up, and it's doing a pretty good job of pulling this out. So I think what I would do is I would actually increase the size of the air stone and maybe increase the size of the... Actually, I don't even know that I need to increase the size of the pump. I'm going to try to increase the size of the air stone. So stay tuned for that. I will do that at a later time. But right now, this thing's working. So I'm going to continue cleaning out the tank with this thing. I'm going to box this thing back up and take it back. It's just not working unless I got a defective unit. But let me know in the comments, guys. Do any of you guys have one of these Fluval ProVacs? And what is your take on it? I am telling you now, that do-it-yourself right there for $16 is significantly better from what I can tell. It's gonna even get better when I increase the size of the air stone, just simply because it's gonna allow for more bubbles, which is going to cause the suction to be stronger. So I'm gonna head to Walmart and pick up some bigger air stones for this thing and try it out. But I'm gonna use this thing in the indoor pond as well. But yeah.
Alright guys, well hopefully you enjoyed this video today. I was quite surprised to figure out that a $16 do-it-yourself version of a gravel vac was going to work so much better. But I definitely recommend, if you have a problem with keeping your substrate clean, definitely build one of these things. It's actually worked great. I've used it on the indoor pond, I've used it on the 100-gallon, I've used it on all of the tanks basically. What I ended up doing outside of the video, which I'll show you it working in an upcoming video, was I bought an aeration stone from Walmart that is a little bit longer. It's more like a bubble wall, and that goes all the way up into the tube, about 2.5 to 3 inches long, and it made a huge difference in the suction of this particular vac. Now, one of the other things I did is I went ahead and took the excess piece of PVC and I cut it down into a smaller section so I can get it fully submerged into a 5 and 10 gallon tank. So now all I have to do in order to convert it from a big tank to a little tank is literally change out the piece of PVC, and it allows it to fully submerge. So, but anyway, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you learned something from it. If you haven't dropped a like on this video yet, please do that. Comment below and let me know what you thought of this. But you notice behind me it's completely gray. I'm on the 43rd floor of this hotel, and it is completely foggy outside. If you look down, you can see really foggy. So anyway, but if you have not followed us on Instagram yet, or you have not subscribed to our channel, please do that now. And hey, we will see you next time.